So when I got the phone call from my agent saying, you're going to Alaska to do comedy, I said, awesome. It's like daytime all the time there, right? Because you're going to send me in the summer? He goes, no, you're going in February. So it was that moment where I knew that my agent was actually trying to kill me.
A little over 20 years ago, I got a call from Jerry Evans to book a stand-up comedian in Fairbanks, Alaska. And that has grown into a regular gig that I have sent many people to over the years, the likes of Craig Robinson, Doug Benson, Kevin James, Christopher Titus. So many known and lesser known comics have all gone up there, enjoyed the hospitality. They've enjoyed the great crowds of Alaska. They've enjoyed the spirit of adventure and everything that waited for them when they arrived. And I got to say, the gig has a spotless reputation. All my guys have enjoyed doing it over the years, and I hope to continue to send them up there for another 20 years.
Yeah, actually, it's a little over 20 years ago that we started bringing up some pretty impressive comedians to Alaska. And not just the big cities like Anchorage, Fairbanks, and Juneau. We're talking some small towns and villages like all over the state, from Ketchikan on one end to Nome on the other. And you got to remember, that's a longer distance than Vancouver, British Columbia to Tijuana, Mexico. So it's a big state. And these people have a blast up here. And kind of the coolest thing, I mean, the shows are always great, but the coolest thing about them is when these guys give their take on Alaska, because, I mean, talk about a fish out of water. I mean, what's normal for us in Alaska is not normal to them. And the more they talk about it, the more you realize, wait a second, maybe they're right. Maybe it's not that normal up here.
I know that I don't know a lot of stuff just in general, but I definitely don't know a lot of stuff about Alaska. I went to the Burbank airport and I said, I'm going to Alaska. He goes, where at? He's like, oh. I thought just Alaska. I thought that was the final destination. He's like, we're in Alaska, stupid. I was like, I'm learning now that that's not where. Is there a lot of places in Alaska? I don't know. They said pack a coat. I remembered the coat.
And you just get stuffed on meat, and that's why everyone's so big in Fairbanks. I remember getting on the plane and them saying to me, I was in the emergency row, and them saying, in the event of emergency, you know, this is how people are going to exit, is through the emergency exit. I remember looking at the emergency exit, and I remember looking at the people on the plane going to Fairbanks and thinking, only like 3 of us are getting off this thing. Everyone else is dead. They're just everyone's so big. Even the Alaskan flight attendants are built like trucks. They're just hammering everyone as come down the aisle. They need to make those planes bigger.
And flying into Alaska is a lot of fun. I'll never forget this. I was sitting in first class because I was the only one flying to Alaska.
I'm groggy as shit. We land at 3 in the morning, okay? I land in Fairbanks. Nobody's there. Like, literally nobody's around. And I'm looking for Jerry. I've never met Jerry. I walk out of the Fairbanks airport, like 3 in the morning. It's just a sea of driverless cars with their motors running unlocked. I was like, did I die? I died, right? Is this heaven? Is this what heaven looks like? Can I just take any of these fucking cars? Well, fuck it. Give me the big truck. I want the big truck. Fucking give me the truck. If any of you guys are having trouble with your car payments, just go down to the Fairbanks airport in the winter, like 3 or 4 in the morning. No one's around. All the cars are running. I meet Jerry. He comes to pick me up. He comes, he's got like a Magnum PI shirt on. Like, it's like -50. I'm bundled. I'm like Nanook of the North, just looking for Jerry. There he comes. He's like in shorts and shit. I meet him in his car. His car's running, unlocked. And I'm like, well, I guess Jerry's St. Peter. Like, I've officially died. So he brings me to the hotel, and I'm so confused. And I wake up, not a clue where I am. No car, so hungry, no food. I sleep through breakfast. It's like 1 p.m. And I stumble out of my hotel with my phone because there's like no Uber or taxis. And I'm like trying to walk and just have like food, like hunting down food. And I start walking. I'm the only human walking on a street in Alaska. I look like a hooker that got lost. Like looking for the guys from the Deadliest Catch. Like, where's Captain Sick?
The shows, it wasn't the first show, it was like the second night I was there, I got taken on a snowmobile, like to a show. I was like, this is crazy, like that, and you think this is just something you see in a movie. You know, like I say that a lot. Like if you saw a movie where there's a comedian and he has to get to a show and it's so snowy, they take him on a snowmobile. Shut the fuck up. That never happened. Don't do it in a movie that's supposed to be depicting realistic comedy. It's not like it's a saturation of comedy. The movie's supposed to depict, what it's really like to do a comedy show. And they show a guy in a snowmobile going to a show. Shut the fuck up. But that's what it was there.
This is so cool because I moved here. And so for me, I'm the only one for which this gig is like super fucking convenient. It's unbelievable. Like everybody else had to fly in. I was just at my house. During Jerry's set, I was at home. It's so crazy. But the only unfortunate thing is then every other gig that I do the rest of the year is inconvenient. Now that I live here. But I love it, man. Jerry brought me up here to do comedy, and I was at the Marlin, and I met the owner of the Marlin, and he was like this really nice guy. You might know his name is Rick, and he was like a super nice guy. And then he was talking to this really, really cute girl, you know? And then she walked away, and I walk up to him, and I go, hey man, who is that? And he goes, that's my daughter. And I go, cool. I was just asking who everybody is. And who is that? And who's that over there? I'm not trying to fuck anybody. I'm just asking who people are. Trying to get a lay of the land.
You know, people ask me all the time, when I performed, I actually did this thing where I did all 50 states, and because of Jerry Evans, I already had Alaska, in that column, and Hawaii also I had performed in. In fact, I remember I performed in Honolulu, and then I flew to Alaska to do the tour, and I couldn't wait to get back to Honolulu.
I was in Fairbanks, Alaska last winter. Yeah. And at no point during that show was I like, hey, you guys, it's fucking awesome to be here. Not once in an entire hour did I do that, because it wasn't awesome. It's fucking Fairbanks. And the people that live in Fairbanks would call bullshit because they live there. It's not awesome, Dick. We're fucking trapped. Parents came up in '89 and we haven't been able to get out of here. Here's the thing. So I flew in to Fairbanks and I had checked the weather before I left LA, and it was fucking 40 below the day before I went there, which is bullshit, right? Fuck that. The day I got there that I flew in, it was 15 below. And every idiot I met had to go, yesterday it was 40 below, today it's 15 below. Sure warmed up for you. And I was like, fuck you. You're not supposed to fucking live here, man. Fucking no one is. It's almost the North Pole. You know who's supposed to live up here? Dude we made up. Fucking move.
You know, when you come up here, you want to do different things, like continue to live. Yeah. But you may not make it, for God's sakes. And it may or may not be a great place to die, I don't know. Because it's a different set of rules up here, of course. It should be. I don't think you're supposed to live up here, but you people do. But you do your things so that you're able to live up here. But we don't know these things. Like, I've come up here, and it's been about 30 below. And the driver, I'll get into a cab at the airport, and I'll say to the driver, wow, 30 below. It's cold, huh? Right? It's cold most places. 30 below, it's cold. Most places, that's kind of cold. 30 below, wow, it's cold, huh? And the guy goes, this is nothing. No? No? You need 30 degrees to get to nothing. This is something. It's not good.
I was warned it's going to be cold. And I remember going, I grew up in Chicago. I can handle that. Tell me about cold. And I remember walking outside, and if I was a cartoon, my nose would have fallen off. My ears would have like shattered in place and then all dropped piece by piece to the ground. And I just remember going, well, I got to get lunch, and braving it to the Fred Meyer. And I don't even remember coming back. I assumed that I take a cab the 100 yards back to the hotel. And that's all it was. It was like 100 yards, but it still felt like the longest, like I was Papillon running through the fields. It felt like a really long trek.
It is weird how much people pity me here too. You know, like I'm just trying to make conversation with someone. I'm like, man, kind of cold, huh? And they're like, like they make you feel like it's a strange pride. It's a strange thing to be a man about. Pretty cold up. I wear shorts in this. All right. I guess, yes, you're right. You're very tough, sir. You're very good at the cold. I don't know, we can see our breath right now. I think even God agrees this is cold.
I didn't just want to stay in the hotel the entire time. I wanted to go out. I wanted to experience things. And I wanted to go outside, even though, no joke, it was 35 degrees below zero. Average. I was born and raised in Orange County, California. 74 is cold. So 35. And my friends back home were like, what's that like? What's 35 below? Here's what it's like. You walk outside, if 1 millimeter of your skin is exposed, you know it the second you walk outside. You walk outside, you're like, hip. Like you're just, it's so, oh my God, it's cold.
Alaska's a different place. A lot of folks can't handle it. I don't mind 30, 40 below. Best part, 20 below. Remember back last fall, it was 20 above. We went, oh my God, this is cold. Then it got 20 below. You went, oh my God, this is cold. Then it warmed up to 20 above, and you went, wow, this is nice.
I was up there in Alaska, it's 30, 40 below, and he's walking around in shorts. He goes, but it's not, it's like a dry cold. Like a wet, like a dry heat. I go, how? I mean, it wasn't wind, but it was cold. I mean, I lost the nipple up there that weekend because of frostbite. It got all, but I mean, they're used to it. I mean, it gets really cold.
And I am soft. I am not one of you. I am a baby. Like if I had a one-night stand and I woke up to this weather, I would be like, all right, nope, I guess we're together now. I think, yep, I live here. This is our house. We might break up in the spring, I'm not sure, but for right now, we gotta make this work, baby. Where's our bathroom? I don't know where our, what's your name again?
I remember Glenn, his wife, hitting the trees with a bat to get the snow off them. Is that what she did? Clubbing the trees? Yeah. Clubbing the trees, that's a job. Did you club the trees this morning, honey? I clubbed them Saturday. It's your turn to club them.
I tell people this all the time whenever I'm down in the lower 48 and it's 24 degrees outside and they're like, it's fucking cold. And I'm like, I've been in Fairbanks, Alaska when the actual ambient temperature was negative 60 degrees. Yeah. That's an interesting feeling. You have no idea. Well, you do, but for those of you at home, you have no idea what it's like to see a grocery store across the street and say, I can't go there because I might fucking die. God has been telling you people to move since you fucking got here. Do you understand this? The sun goes away for months, and then it comes back and it won't fucking go away. I don't know which is worse. I've been up here during towards the end of spring, where it looks like it's 6 p.m. all fucking night long. You're like, it has been 7:30 for 12 hours.
That's when our other state bird comes out, right? The mosquito. It's bigger than the ptarmigan. They're monstrous. They'll take you out. They're stupid in the spring, right? And then they get small and smart, and really it only takes one to really mess up your world. Because he knows when to show himself, and that's at night, just as you go to bed and click the light off. How does he know to wait? I don't know, but everything's fine till the lights are out, and all you hear is that. There was no right way to go. There was no right way to go. Where do they go? Right for the... Just long enough for you to pop out of bed and go, poo. What the hell? He goes back to his buddy's dude, you owe me $5. Popped himself right in the head. Did I tell you? And then you pull back the sheets and wait, right? You give him some bait. Show him a little skin. And you boom, ah, you don't kill him. Just pull the little wings off. Let's see what kind of noise. I don't hear a thing. Go tell the others what you saw here tonight. No, fuck that. I gotta sleep. Boom.
I had a wonderful time, man, and it was just, I had so many questions about Alaska, not to be naive, but just the time difference, the sun going up, the sun going down, how cold is it? Will I run into a bear? Will there be some Eskimos walking around? Like, it was just, it's kind of like a mixture of the animals say, look, y'all can live here as long as y'all don't intrepid upon our space, and the humans like, look, we want to live here, we just want to go in your space, and we all just, like, we see you at the mall, we'll shake hands or whatever. The bears are like, cool, that's fine. But if I see you in my neighborhood, I got to eat you, it's the rule.
We went hiking. I went hiking at Denali for the first time a few months ago, and I was on one of the trails, and I'd never been there before, and I brought my mom with me, and I could tell this is where I get my anxiety from. I'd never hung out with my mom before in that type of situation. And as you walk on a trail in Denali, it said, there were lots of us out there. It's a very popular hike, but there was a sign that said, as you're walking, to clap. Didn't you know why? Obviously, right? For the to let the bears know you're coming. Because the bear's like, oh, people clapping, let's kill somebody else. And so they're like, oh, I would kill them, but it sounds like they're really enjoying a program or something. So it says that. It says to clap as you're walking. And dude, no one's, it's like 60 people, so no one's doing it except for my mom. And she's trying to fit it in subtly. So Jamie, how do you like living up here? Just clapping like a crazy person. It was so embarrassing, and So we got out of there, and then I was thinking that's a probably good idea. They tell you to clap, like to let the bears know you're. But then I was thinking they should also tell you, like on another sign, it should say if you do see a bear attacking someone, at that point, you should stop clapping. The bear's gonna think you're cheering him on. That's what's gonna happen, and they'll kill more people. Like you guys like this? I'll kill this other guy. I wasn't even gonna, but they're going nuts. They love me. I'm killing over here.
Last I was up there, I almost got attacked by a bear. Not a real bear, like a big, hairy gay man. And you know, look, I may not be much to you people, but to a gay guy, I'm Christy Brinkley.
I saw a moose. I remember that. I saw a massive moose in a field, a huge moose, way bigger than you, Bananas, way bigger than you. And I threw a snowball at it because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what they tell me you're supposed to do, is throw a snowball. That's what all the Alaskans tell you to do. Throw a snowball at the moose. And I did that. And we ran. We ran to the college to do the show. Whew. Apparently, that was dangerous.
My wife really likes to mess with me, you guys. Like, she sends me this picture. I'll just show a couple people in the front row, and you can. So this is a picture of my backyard in Alaska. This is my picture. When I tell people I live here, they don't believe me. So this is a picture I show people to prove that I live in Alaska. And it's a picture of my wife holding our baby, and then there's a sliding glass door, and then behind the door, it's a fucking moose, right? And so I'm about to do a show. I'm down in San Francisco. I'm about to do a show. My wife texts me this picture. They're literally introducing me, and she sends me this picture. I'm like, fuck. And so, and I go, shit, let me just message her real quick because it made me nervous. So I write to her and I write, hey, honey, be careful. I think mooses can be very aggressive, right? So I'm about to go on stage and I see the dot, she's writing me back, and I go, you know what, let me just see what she has to say, make sure everyone's okay. And the message comes through and it says, the plural of moose is moose. And that was the entire fucking message. That's all I said. With no information as to how my son's doing. She chose to use that time to criticize me. So I texted back and I wrote, hey, I feel like you fucking knew what I meant. I feel like she knew what I meant. And then she wrote back, I just didn't want you to be talking to someone at some point in the future. And then you say mooses, and you look like a stupid idiot. So I texted back, is it bitches or bitch I? How do you say more than one? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did not send the text. I did not send it. I had that shit in the chamber. I was like, oh shit, I'll stay married instead.
And then afterwards, they have a lot of sled dogs there, and you can go sled dogging, or you can just go meet the sled dogs. And I love dogs. We all love dogs. Now, I've never met dogs like these. Now, there's about 100 of them, and they seem they're nice. They're nice dogs, mostly. I don't know if you've ever seen an ad for a strip club where they say, hundreds of beautiful women and one ugly one. Like at the dog place today, 100 great dogs and one like really unfriendly one. Like, honestly, like, and the ones they have on chains that are walking around in circles, they're nice. They're sweet as pie. You would think they'd be kind of out of their minds, but no, they're super nice. So I walk up to the ones that are behind a fence, not a high fence either, everybody. Hit me about right here. Didn't have to effort too much to get my hand over it. And behind this fence, there's these dogs, and they give the dogs theme names. There's so many of them. So this group of dogs was known as Bruno Mars and his groupies. And I'm like, I love Bruno Mars. Yeah, I shouldn't, but I do. I love Bruno Mars. I'll never go to a Bruno Mars concert because everyone will be like, hey, who's the cop? You know, but I love Bruno Mars. Again, you did this to me. So there's a, hey, Bruno Mars, hey, all right. And I've never been to a Bruno Mars concert, of course, like I say, but they didn't act like anybody in Bruno Mars's band or anybody or like any of his groupies. And that should have been my first clue. Groupies, they're a little twisted, right? Am I right? They're a little. So it's Bruno Mars and his groupies, and hey, come on, and there's a dog, and I, pet one of them, and then another one comes up, and they fool you sometimes, don't they? Dogs, they seem so friendly and dog-like, especially when you're allowed to put your hands over the fence and pet them, and well, he liked this. He liked this, I'll tell you that. He liked this, and he had a hold of it for about a good 8-9 seconds, I think. I mean, I was getting tired. I was like, okay, well, can we stop now? I don't think you're going to make it through the bone, but he was trying. Groupies, you can't trust them, man. I'm not Bruno Mars. They knew that. I was trying to get backstage, and they didn't want that. Hey, man, this is our guy back here. Take that finger out of here. By the way, later on in the blizzard, find me. It'll be easy. I will be your beacon.
I'm not an outdoorsy guy. I don't know if you can look at me and tell that I don't do well with nature. The bear cub could kill me. Various angry raccoons.
Did I talk about Bill Dwyer getting his goddamn hand bit off by a wolf? He's such a baby. Oh my God, like it was hilarious. It was the best thing I've ever seen. It was. He's fine. He's just like, oh look, Bruno Mars and his group. Oh, heavens to Betsy. You know how he talks. He's always got weird expressions. Oh, heavens to Betsy. You're like, what the? Oh, great Gollum Scott. You're like, what the fuck? Who talks like that? Oh, Wilkes' Beast Francis. You're like, what? If you want to see a person get bit, Bill Dwyer is the guy to. Oh, Delta. You're like, what?
Well, the best thing was, like, usually you're doing comedy in a town and it's like, what can you do? You can go to the stupid mall or the movie theater, but because it's Alaska, they take you out to this place where you can literally go dog sledding, and it's not like set up in like a really regimented dog. It's not like a tourist attraction. It's literally at some guy's cabin named Musher Mike, and he's got like 50 dogs, and he just sort of like, he's like, have you ever done this before? And you're like, no. He's like, you'll be fine. Sticks you on the sled. You're out there. Like, I think it was the first time a Jew had ever done that. Certainly the first time a Jew had even been in Alaska, I think. And then, so I did the thing, and I was like terrified, and I was like dog sledding, like, in my face. And then this Musher Mike guy, for the next 6 years, he hits me up on Facebook like every 6 months, is like, hey, if you know any women down there in LA who are looking to, maybe move in with like a 6-year-old guy in Alaska who owns dogs, send him up. And he's not kidding. Like, I think the cold air makes you kind of delusional or something, but I mean, I keep my eye out for him, every now and then. If a Tinder date doesn't go well, I ask her like, hey, it's not working out with us, but are you interested in old men in the snow? And, I try to help them out when I can.
Not only are Alaskans tough, but I even feel like your dogs are like better than my dog. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone's dog here has like a job. Do you know what I mean? They're towing sleds and shit. I took my dog to the dog sled race just to show him what a piece of shit he was. I was like, this is what you could be doing in a day, you lazy son of a bitch. You see any dogs licking their balls? No, they're being transportation because they have goals. I gotta take him to like a Tony Robbins dog thing or something. He is a lazy. He's the laziest son of a bitch.
This is how actively your state's trying to kill you. In my hotel room is a survival guide. Staying alive in the Arctic. There's no other state that gives you a survival guide. Mississippi does, but it's only for black people. What? Read a book. And they're free. Because they should be. It's a fucking survival guide. Could you imagine why Chris died in Alaska? He was short $3. He couldn't afford the book. Dry snow at 40 below is cold enough to prevent skis from gliding. Means it's so fucking cold, fun stops. Do you understand? That physics is like, fuck your fun. It's cold. Go the fuck inside. Some of these aren't even survival tips. They're just trivia to think of when you're dying. Like 40 below zero is the only point at which the Fahrenheit and Celsius thermometers agree. Who gives a shit? I don't need to know. So as I'm taking my last breaths, as I freeze to death with Jeff Dye, and I'm just like, hey Jeff, you know what's funny? This is the only temperature where Fahrenheit and Celsius are... At 40 below, a train more than 5 miles away will sound as if it is a block down the street. How the fuck do you know? And also, open your eyes. Huh? Who's going, huh? We're good. And you have a fucking sense of humor about killing people with your state. Experienced outdoorsmen and visitors alike are encouraged to wear bells on or in their clothing so as not to surprise a bear by their presence. Any of you fuckers do that? I've been walking around all day. No one's been jingling. I think you just want people to know who the tourists are. A jingle, jingle, a jingle, jingle. Look at this Southern 48. People are also encouraged to carry pepper spray with them in case an unexpected encounter with one of these temperamental animals. Okay. So then it goes on, be alert for signs of bear activity. Recognize the difference between black bear, and grizzly bear scat. Which I love that they use the word. They could have said poop, but no, they went fucking Urban Dictionary. Black bear waste is identified by the presence of berry and leaf remains. Grizzly bear scat, on the other hand, can be recognized by its strong odor of pepper and the presence of bells.
That is another thing too that is strange. Is a man asked me about guns, and he's like, you like guns? I was like, no, I don't. And then he just lost his head. He was just like, I used to be a pussy ass liberals from California. It's like, that's no way to teach me. You gotta, like, we've grown up very different, Alaska. Every day is a battle to live for you guys. Grew up in Seattle. I was raised by just like a town full of lesbians that wear scarves all year. Like, you could be anything you want. Hurry, you're gonna be late for poetry yoga. Can you believe some people eat chickens? Chickens are our friends. Yeah, I've never seen a gun. But I'm not gonna learn about guns by being like, you mud pussy ass pieces of shit. You fucking. It's not gonna. You Hillary loving faggot. Like, that's not gonna make me go, yeah, maybe he's right. I think I agree with him. I think I agree with the man belittling me about this subject.
There was a group of people that some old Vietnam vets that I'm sure they have some warrants, and maybe that's why they went to Alaska. Or they're just really big gun guys, and no other state will let you have the kind of artillery that they have in Alaska. They said, you want to go shoot guns? I said, I've never shot a gun before. What kind of guns do you have? And they just laughed and said, all of them. And they weren't joking.
It's completely different. And here's something that was in the newspaper just a little while back here in Fairbanks. I don't know if you guys read about this. A guy and his fiance, they were getting ready for bed. So she's in the bathroom doing it, whatever it is female fiance members do to get ready for bed. And he was doing what most guys do. He was cleaning his weapon, right? See, that's the difference right there. Somebody not in Alaska would be laughing about cleaning his weapon before bed. Right, that's funny. Here everyone's like, okay, cleaning his weapon. Of course he is. What else would he be doing? Then what happened, Jerry? We're following you. Guy was cleaning his weapon, put the gun down, gun went off, went through the bathroom door and lodged in his wife's ass. His future wife, we hope. Maybe not. Lodged in his fiance's ass. Now, I'm not saying I know what to do to make a woman happy, but I know how to piss her off. Just shoot her in the ass, right? And here's the deal. I don't know if they got married. I hope their love was strong enough to see them through all of this. But if they did get married, you guys know, like most married people, they're going to argue, right? And I don't know how the argument's going to start, but I know how everyone's going to finish. It's going to be her going, oh, what are you going to do, shoot me in the ass again? And that's it.
Buddies wanted to go ptarmigan hunting. Hey, we're going ptarmigan hunting. Our state bird, they want to go ptarmigan hunting. I go, okay, it's really not hunting because they're the stupidest birds on the planet. They're even spelled stupid, ptarmigan. What the, ptarmigan? And they're cocky because in the summer they're brown with white spots. Winter, white with brown spots. They don't think you see them. They think they blend. And you know where ptarmigan like to hide when you hunt? In the road. Lined up. Like the beginning of the Partridge Family show. Just lined up. Almost hit him with the damn car. I said, boom, boom, boom. Oh, Christ, just put them in, let's go. No, there they are. They don't even move. We get out, we get the shotguns out, 5 of them, blending. Shoot the middle one. Boom, feathers fly. Most real smart birds will then take off. Not the ptarmigan. They just fill the spot. You shoot one more and they just go, blend. But you gotta love Alaska. Where else but Alaska can you hunt, kill, eat, and wear your state bird? Yeah. Try that shit in California. Right? This is excellent condor. No, that's not gonna fly.
You know, the thing about Alaska, too, is that, you know, it's the size of a country. So, you know, you think, oh, you're doing 3 cities. Oh, you know, that'll be a little hop, skip, and a jump. But no, it's basically a day trip to go anywhere. And again, who lives there? Who chooses to live there? I'm told that there's, what is it? There's 75 men to 1 woman. Is that the... I don't know what the breakdown is on that, but that alone seems weird and creepy.
What I love most about Alaska is the fact you call us the lower 48. And Glenner knows this. I like to call you the upper 1. I coined that phrase and it's gone nowhere.
I like to refer to this as the Alaska comedy food chain. It's just the way it works. You pick on the smaller town, right? It is, because Seattle makes fun of Anchorage, right? Anchorage makes fun of Fairbanks. Fairbanks makes fun of North Pole. North Pole makes fun of Delta. Delta makes fun of Salcha. Salcha makes fun of Moose Creek. And Moose Creek makes fun of a guy named Bob in a trailer. And that's pretty much it. You can't go any lower than that.
These shows were like in the, don't you remember that? They were all, the thing that was, once you got to them, they were set up oddly great.
Well, that's the thing. You know what? You're right, because there's the you're the city of Fairbanks, which in reality is a city like any other city. But they did choose to do the comedy in some backwoods weirdo thing where you gotta get in the car and we're gonna drive you, and you think you're gonna get rolled or thrown into a wood chipper, and you get there and you're right. Then it's wonderfully set up. You're performing on top of a car hood or something.
So I'm doing the show, and I did a couple of Alaska jokes, and probably about 25 minutes into my show, boom! And the power went out, and then it was loud, it was scary, and then everyone was like, woo! And then, okay, and then, all right, we'll bring it back on, and then we bring it back on, I'm about to do my show, boom, it went out again, and then it was boom, and then it just kept going on. So it went out about 6 times. Right.
Scary. That was, dude, exactly. I thought it was shots fired. You're exactly right. It sounded like a buckshot. Did that freak anyone else out? I'm fucking, did everyone take a breath? You are? Well, you're probably also used to walking out of your house to take a shit, but I'm not. I'm not. Probably used to looking at your cat.
And then when this crazy thing happened, someone held up their phone. Right. And then another person, and then another person, and the next thing you know, we probably had 80 phones that lit up the room. And I was like, what? And people just were like, basically wanted to have a show. And I was like, they want to have a show? I'll do a show. She's sexy and I'm tall and skinny. So when we hug, we look like a lowercase b. I have to tell you, it was much more intimate than I've ever done. I loved it.
Last time I came here, I was so shocked because I kept saying no one's gonna come. And he's like, no, people come, I promise. I was like, no, I promise. I looked outside and no one's gonna come. And he's like, no, there'll be like a lot of people. And I was like, I assure you that you're wrong. And we had this long argument, and he's like, no, trust me, it's gonna be good. Just get some rest, you're probably tired from the plane ride. Tonight we have a gig in Delta Junction. And so then I said, okay, cool, yeah. So it's morning now, and I'll go to the hotel and I'll eat some stuff and then sleep and shower. And then what time should I be ready? He goes, we should probably leave around noon. I said, yeah, no one's coming to that show, I don't think. And when we got in the car, it was literally, you do it every day, so it's not crazy for you, but I spent the whole time praying. I saw a raccoon commit suicide. It was a pretty depressing drive. A little critter came out, and he's like, ah! I was like, swerve! And he's like, no, I need this. And then, so we killed the raccoon. It's depressing. The place was called Clearwater Lodge. That's where we performed. Yes! It was a scary drive, but once we got there, it was real beautiful and nice. And I was sitting there waiting for the show to start, and I asked a guy, like, what's going on? How you doing? And he goes, did you know that this place was once set on fire? And I said, really? He goes, yeah, it was all set on fire, and then it was gone, and then now we've rebuilt it, and it's good. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then this girl comes, she goes, hey, how's it going? You're the comedian? Can I get you an order? And I was like, yeah, I'll have this. And she goes, did you know that this place was set on fire? I was like, yeah, this gentleman told me. And she goes, oh, okay, cool. She takes the thing. And then later on, same guy, I said, so what should we do tonight? He goes, I don't know. Did we tell you about the fire? I was like, what the hell's going on? That's all anyone cared about was the fire. So I was like, screw this, let's get out of here. We got it at Delta Junction. We went to some new bar here in this town. And we were there, and everyone's like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, I'm the comedian. Tonight I had a gig in Clearwater Junction at the, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about. And the guy goes, "You won't believe this." And I said, "What?" He goes, "That place." I was like, "Yeah, it was set on fire. I get it. It was set on fire. Yes. Is that how lame we are for news up here?" It's getting out of order.
Then there was another time we did a gig in Delta Junction. If you don't know where that is, you go north until you see penguins. That's where the gig is. We drove all the way up there. It took a while. I remember we did the gig, and Jerry and Glenn were gonna stay up there in a trailer with their wives. And they said, "Take the car back to Fairbanks." So I did. And I remember I was going down the highway, whatever the highway was, and I saw a family of moose, meeson. And I remember from Glenn's act, he had something about what to do when you encounter a moose. It was a Jerry or Glenn. It was Jerry, and so I got out of my car, and I did something like this. I was like on the side of the road making antlers, and I remember a local drove past me as I'm going, "Get away! Get away!" And one of the locals drove by and unrolled his window and went, "Asshole!"
The number one thing, according to TripAdvisor, to do at Delta Junction is the Alaska Highway. So basically, TripAdvisor is saying the best thing to do in Delta is get the hell out of Delta. That's what they're saying.
So, I don't know if you know that they call me, my agents call me, they're like, "Hey, you got a gig in Fairbanks. Go." And I'm like, "All right." So I show up, and they're like, "Not all the shows are in Fairbanks. The first one, we got to go to Delta." And I'm like, "That's what? That's a letter." It's an airline. It's not a place. It's a lot of things. So about 60 miles into the drive, I was like, "Jerry, Glenner, pull over, just rate me now. Okay, why do we need to go this far to rate me? Like, let's just get it over with. Get me back to Sophie Sweets, because this just seems a little too much for the rape." Because you drive to Delta, you're like, there's nothing else to do out here. There's also survival gear in the back. I'm like, "What's in the back?" "Survival gear." "What the fuck are we doing?" "Well, you never know when shit might turn, we might not be able to make it back." I'm like, "Just fucking rape me. Don't put on the suits."
I've always had a blast. One year when I was there, I got to go to a ice sculpting competition. There was a lot of amazing ice sculptures, and I saw the Aurora Borealis, and I performed in the North Pole and was very disappointed at the lack of dwarves there.
I have been doing the Alaska run maybe three times now. I think my favorite experience from that was there's a gig in the North Pole, Alaska, which that's confusing. It's not the North Pole.
So I get all like jazzed about Santa, and I go on Glenner's radio show in the morning. I start talking about it. I'm like, "Guys, do you know you live like there? Santa Claus is near. I need to go to Santa's house." 2 women call him. They're like, "We'll bring you to Santa's house." I'm like, "All right. How could that possibly be dangerous? 2 strangers." Clearly, whoever said don't ride in cars with strangers has never been to Alaska. Never in my life have I texted more license plates to people going, "When I get murdered, this is who did it." There's not even an if in that state. Like, clearly I'm gonna get murdered. So I'm like, so these ladies, I'm like, all right, they seem perfectly professional. They called it, they lied to their boss, Sherry and Becca. Are they here? Sherry and Becca, they call in, they're like, "We're bringing you to Santa's house." We lied to our boss, give us your hotel room and where you're at. I'm like, all right. 2 hours later, I'm in the car with these gals, delightful. We're driving to Santa. We're going to the North Pole. And I'm like, oh my God, is Santa's house awesome? Is Santa's house so awesome? And I'm like, have you met Santa? Is it really cool in the North Pole? And one of them goes, well, I hope you like meth. Santa's in trouble! Santa's in trouble! If I am still alive and this isn't just some weird fever dream, guys, anybody watching out there, Santa's in trouble. I'm like, Santa could afford better property. They're like, yeah, it's the meth capital of Alaska. I was like, I don't care. This is going to be great. So we drive out to Santa's house. They're like, you can sit. I look it up. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sit on Santa's lap. How could that go wrong? Perfectly fine. I have no natural instincts left. Like, yeah, I'll get in your van. Let's go. I can fit under your floorboards in your house. That's fine. That's fine. Your name's the Yellow King. This is great. So we go to Santa's house. I'm looking for Santa. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make a wish. I guess you don't do that at Santa, but, it's not my birthday. I go to Santa's house. I'm like, where's Santa? Where's Santa? And they're like, Santa's off duty till April. It is April, motherfucker, and he's not here. I'm like, well, so I start talking about it on stage, and somebody goes, I'm like, well, what's Santa up to? They go, he's on the city council. I'm like, wait, let's just back up the bus here. I'm like, what is this man's name? And somebody goes, Santa Claus. I'm like, no, I understand that it's Santa Claus, but like, what's his real name? And he goes, his name is Santa Claus. I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me that a city of meth heads elected a man named Santa Claus who plays Santa Claus onto the city council? That's fucking genius. Like, they're taking care of their naughty or nice list. They just knew it was funny. They knew it was funny, So I just picture like a city just filled with like little people with fucked up teeth. Who are super efficient once a year. It makes sense, sir. It makes sense. I mean, it's like a lot of toys to deliver. You need people like fucking jacked up. Like, here we go. This is from Bobby in Ohio. Bobby, best wishes. I know you wanted this new Nintendo.
Oh, and then I say, well, where are we going in Alaska? I know Anchorage and Juneau. That's all I know. So I assume it's either Anchorage or Juneau. And then my agent goes, oh, you're going to the North Pole. And I go, ha ha, very funny. You're sending a dwarf to the North Pole. And he goes, no, seriously, you're going to the North Pole.
Then we went to North Pole the next night, the fucking capital of sadness. Right? I'd do meth too if I lived in North Pole. You're looking around, it's fucking Christmas all the time, and you're just like, no, I don't want this. Like, I know I get mad when they start doing Christmas shit in October. I can imagine May rolls around and there's goddamn candy cane light poles. You're like, I'm gonna fucking murder somebody. How about instead of murder, you just do meth? Fucking perfect. We'll just do that. And then we went to Kodiak Jack's. And for those of you watching this on DVD, if you want to know what Kodiak Jack's is like, watch the Blues Brothers, and it's Bob's Country Bunker without the fucking chicken wire. I don't even think they listen to both kinds of music. It's all fucking country. And they smoke in there like it's the fucking 80s. And they blow it up at you like you're fucking super tramp.
People in Alaska want entertainment just like everybody else, and when they get it, they're so appreciative. You go, you do the shows, and then they want to hang out with you afterward. And sometimes you have a beer or two. And I would hear stories of other comics that would get way too drunk and do things like, take off their shirt and ride a mechanical bull. But I never did anything like that. I never did anything like that.
I did a show up there once where it was in a bar that had a mechanical bull, and I got drunk enough to ride the mechanical bull, and that's, next level drunk, because the next day I slept through my flight home and got to spend another lovely night without a gig in Alaska.
For those of you watching at home, here's the jam. Here's why Alaska's the greatest. You think that they're all just fucking like hanging out, just like, oh no, these people party like non-stop.
Jerry's taken me to a lot of places. Dear God. We've been to Nome. Man, no. Nome is not, woo! When you leave there, it's whoo. That's when you're leaving. Nome. It's one letter away from not me. Remember, you can't spell gnome without no. And when you're heading up to Nome, everything is incorrect. You're getting on that plane, that's wrong. That plane, it had a dent in it. How's that happen? And I remember getting on the plane, they go, how much you weigh? And I was like, all right. I haven't heard that line before, but well, how much do you weigh? I'll play your little game. And I go, 168. They go, all right, go sit next to that guy over there. And I go, oh, why is that? And they go, oh, well, we have to weigh the plane out carefully so we don't crash. And I'm like, I'm 189. I'm 189. I can't. Me and the fat guy. What's his? What did he say? What did he say? He's 260 easy. If he didn't say 260, we're going down.
And the ice hotel, that was pretty cool. Just all ice building. If Alaska wasn't cold enough, we're going to add an ice building to the, and it's got ice in it, and they serve you drinks on ice. Everything's cold. It's great. It's just freezing cold the whole time. You have to put a jacket on to go inside. That's how cold it is.
I've done a lot of things here. Today, I tried to do something new, which I've never done before, and that was to go to the hot springs, which is great. Wonderful, yeah. The hot springs. And, just because that's not nice enough, they also have an ice museum. Oh, the hot springs, that's not good. Let's go to the ice museum first. This is an ice museum. This whole goddamn town, state is an ice museum. Why do we have to go into a smaller version of this? Jesus. The Ice Museum is great, by the way, though, too. Yeah. Could you imagine having sex in the Ice Museum with me? That would be awful. First of all, you'd be like, Jesus, the Ice Museum, And then fucking I come prancing out. Not in the velvet either, everybody. It's not good.
You know, my first experience in Alaska, it really is it's a culture shock, because it's like no place on earth, and I mean that in a great way. But comedy-wise, I remember when I went up there my very first trip, I think, I forget the name of the place, but it was kind of like a pub, it was like a bar type atmosphere. And I remember going into my normal act saying, you ever go into everything for $1 store? And somebody from the audience screamed, "We don't have those here!" And I continued with a bit, I moved into it, and then I go, yeah, so here's a fun thing to do. Walk into a Dunkin' Donuts. There aren't any here where we live. All right, you ever go over to a movie theater? What is that? No, I was trying to dumb it up so much. Do you ever have a glass of milk? What's milk? It's like, so then finally I started saying, so then all the gigs after that, I would preface every bit by, if you ever get down to the real United States and you walk into an everything for $1 store, here's a fun thing to do. We don't have those here! They just wouldn't give it up.
I try to go around, I try to educate people about Alaska now that I live here, because I think people don't think about it enough. Because do you remember when North Korea launched the first test missile? They shot it up in the air, and to see how high it would go. And then a physicist from the United States figured out, like, if it had been shot at an angle, how close it would get to the United States. I don't know if you guys remember what they said in the news. They came out and they were like, hey, good news. It could just get to Alaska. So, do you remember that? I'm like, what the shit? Do you remember that? People around the world were like, oh my God, thank God that was close. That is almost the United States. I was at home with my children. Like, I think that's where we're watching this from. Somebody call somebody and tell them people are up here. Oh my God. Because because we live here, so when you hear Alaska, it really sticks out. But I think other people, they don't realize, like every infomercial you've ever seen. You get excited to buy the thing. Right? How about just in general, trying to mail something? I go to the post office, I go, I'm gonna send a priority. They go, cool, it'll be there in 7 days. I go, this doesn't seem like a fucking priority. I go, what if I overnight it? They go, yep, gonna get there in 3 days then. You wanna overnight it? I'm like, overnight? It said, right in the word, it said overnight. It's not overnights.
And then I get a ride in a car that has a huge crack in the windshield, which is an industry standard in Fairbanks. You have to have a crack in your window. I think when you buy the car, they just smash it and they put a big dent in the front grille. And they're like, all right, so you don't have to deal with that, I'll get that out of the way. And you don't ever have to get it fixed. Here you get a ticket. Up there, if a cop pulls you over and you don't have a crack in your windshield, he takes his club and just gives you a nice ding on your way.
But Alaska's awesome, Alaska's great. I was just in Fairbanks, Alaska. Everybody is drunk and happy and a little bit fat, and I am gonna fucking move there. It's awesome. First night I was there, I went out to the bar to kind of shake off the trip, and there were these guys there, and they were like, hey, do you want to come to our hotel room and have some Alaskan king crab? And I was like, huh, that's either the best pickup line I've ever heard, or I'm really getting free Alaskan king crab. Right? So I went. I'm not stupid. I went. Turns out, surprise, surprise, it was really Alaskan king crab, okay? And I never had it before. Like, you think you've had it because you ordered it somewhere or some shit. But that is not what they give you. Because I took, like, the big piece of meat out of the big part of the leg, okay? It was huge. It was huge. I put it in my hand. It was huge. I put it in my hand. I swear to God, it looked like I had a dick in my hand. Yeah. And I've never been so happy to eat a dick in my entire life. That's right. Yeah. And I think from now on, I'm going to dip them all in butter. That's how I'm going to do it. Yeah.
It was so cool, like just the people and mingling and how they hand you salmon like it's just like how in LA we would just hand out weed. No. Hey man, have some salmon. Wow, ooh wee, salmon.
So I think the first time I was up there happened to be in the middle of during the middle of my campaign for Dodge Hemi. That thing got a Hemi, and so we happened to be driving around in a Dodge Ram truck with a Hemi engine in it. I don't know if that was on purpose. These guys just like to mess with me, but we had a good time with it. I remember pulling up at stoplights where other people had the Dodge Ram. They would yell at them, "Hey, that thing got a Hemi!" And they would look over. To them, there was no way that the Dodge Hemi guy would actually be, in Alaska. But we did it like 5 times. Yeah, got some looks. Luckily, no one. There's a lot of convicts that go up to Alaska just to hide. So luckily, no one got out and started swinging.
I've literally never had so many people offer to take me around and show me their community after a gig before in a non-creepy way. Some of the offers were creepy, but a few of them were not.
It started as a gig that I used to have to explain to people what the gig was all about, how you go there. It's the same guys who book you in all these rooms. They're going to take you around. And it really has morphed from a gig that I needed to, at first, talk people into going, that quickly gained a good reputation. And basically, at this point, it's a sought-after gig. And when I get the call for someone to go to Alaska, I have to look at my list and figure out who can I kind of send this to, because it's going to be a good time and they're going to really like it. And if you've never been to Alaska, of course they're going to want to go and should want to go.
I knew while we were doing it, like this was really cool. Like same thing. Like I don't want to overuse this, but I think it really explains what I'm trying to say. If you would have seen this tour, like depicted in a movie where, it's a comedian and he's going to do these shows, and you'd be like, but we would do these shows in the middle of nowhere. Like this was more desolate than Fairbanks. And Fairbanks, now that looks like a big city. These, people would be walking to the shows, just down streets. We stayed at a bed and breakfast, and people, you'd go there and they're all, and in the middle of nowhere, there was a theater, because that local little town had there was a barn, but sort of a theater. But people would be everybody was just walking because there was just snow everywhere. There was nothing. There was a hut. People lived there, but you didn't see a lot. It was just, and it was snow everywhere. And then we get into a theater. There's 250 people packed into this theater, and they're great. They were just great. They were so appreciative that there were shows there, and it was fun to hang out with them because they're, they're you don't get to. It's a very unique experience. It's very you miss it when you're gone. It sounds, you're like, wow, this was special. This was crazy to be a part of this. I don't have to wait till 50 years from now to go, God, remember, I knew while we were doing it. This is ridiculous.
All right, what I'd like to do right now is bring out all of our comedians for the evening. Come on out, guys. Bill Dwyer, Jamie Lissow, Arden Marine, Jeff Dye, Glenner, and Christopher Porter. I want to sincerely thank you guys for coming out and supporting live comedy and supporting Alaska comedy for 20 years. Hopefully we can do it for another 20. Again, thanks a lot for coming out, supporting live comedy. Wherever you go tonight, just please make sure you get there safely. Thanks a lot, guys.
Jerry Evans, everybody. Jerry Evans, come on. He does this for you all the goddamn time. He does it. He's a treasure, a city treasure. Jerry goddamn Evans.
The hell was that? Did you hear that? There was like a loud belch from behind the stage. It's unruly. Is that Porter? I love this guy. Give it up for Chris Porter. He's like a big dumb animal back there. Chris Porter's about to come out and do 75 times better than me. You'll see. No, trust me, it's fucking great. I watched the first show and I was like, oh yeah, I should have done Alaska jokes.
So then I came to Fairbanks, and I'm using notes, and I apologize, but they were like, hey, we need you to do 15 minutes of Alaska material, and there's nowhere to fucking work that out in Los Angeles. Believe it or not, there's not a Fairbanks-only comedy club in Sherman Oaks. So we're both hearing this shit for the first time, and I hope it goes well.
So I give a disclaimer then that I give Jerry Evans permission to use this footage for his comedy skit special and any type of erotically charged evening viewing session. Good? Yeah. Not necessarily in that order.
It's not okay if you use my likeness on this video. I don't want to have any part of it. This thing's going to fucking do the full tilt boogie to 3 a.m. cable, and I want to have no parts of it. I have a reputation in this industry, and I don't want to. I want this thing's like an albatross around my neck. You know, it's going to affect my quotes. Listen, you do. You have my permission to use this, okay? You have permission to use my likeness. Are you fucking happy now? He's holding a gun on me, making me say this. He's got a gun. He's holding a gun on me, making me say this.
For 20 years, a few brave souls have traveled to the frozen wilderness of Alaska to perform stand-up comedy. They all made it back alive.
Well, some of them made it back. Is that? Did they make it back alive?
Hey guys, Steve Heitner here, actor and comedian extraordinaire. Well, you've caught me coming out of the shower, and I don't know about you, but when I'm showering, my thoughts always turn to Jerry and Glenner. Yeah. I just wanted to take a moment here to congratulate you two guys on 20 years of, well, 20 years. That's a long time, huh? Yeah, 2 decades, right. So congrats on that. All right, that's it for me. Congratulations, Jerry and Glenner. And maybe I'll just give you a little bit of, yeah, nobody wants to see that.
I mean, he would, you know. Let me re-say that all again. The owner touched me inappropriately, and I never went back. Now that's the way, that's some good footage. Jimmy, let me come in. Hold on, I don't want to be the type that ruins your interview, but I would like to be here for this story. By the way, that's off camera, but what if it gets it? Anyway, I'm kidding. All right.
Are we filming?
I guess we are.
Was that part of it? Were you part of that? Was that?
Yes, that's the way they started it. I know how they edit these things together. I walk in and
Why'd you do a skit? They just want stories.
They're going to use this. I know what they're going to do. The editor right now, the editor should not throw this out. You got to talk to the editors that do this. You got to say, don't leave this part out.
I can barely hear you.
That's it. Go Black. There's your documentary on Alaska comedy.